Who is a cricketing or the cricketing god? That was one of the questions that were posted in our Instagram live stories that we thought would make an excellent topic for our show today. That is one of the main questions that we're going to be answering. We're also going to be answering your questions in the live chat. Whatever you guys bring to us, we'll be chatting about. So get your questions in the live chat, and we will get this conversation going. I'm really excited to do this Q&A with you today. Myself and Aditya are obviously going to sift through all the questions and try to answer you as best as possible. If you guys are new to this channel, please click subscribe and click that notification bell for all future videos. We've designed this excellent subscribe button for you, so click that notification bell for all future videos, and also smash that like button. Let's get a lot of likes on this particular video. You guys set the target and try to push everybody to do so. Share this on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and all of your social media platforms as well. Let's get straight into today's video. Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid. This is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket, but this is our Q&A show, so we're going to be talking about this, and let's chat about it. Let's talk about everything that has to do with South African cricket, and let's talk about your question and answers that you have sent in to us. There hasn't been a third T20 preview planned for today. We haven't spoken about doing that particular show. We're going to be doing a massive review show, obviously, after the game, and we want to get as many viewers on that particular one, because going into the new T20, I think there's how much there's actually to discuss after winning the series. I mean, there might not be enough to discuss when it comes to that. So I think if you guys have any questions regarding the game and you want to know anything about the game, let's incorporate it with this particular show. Ask us your questions in the live chat if you are interested. So Aditya, let's get into the questions. We can start off with some of the questions that are in the live chat currently. We've answered one of them from Ashit already. We have one over here from Abinab. He says, please take my question. Is Babuma the perfect choice for T20 captain? Okay, we knew this question was going to come. And let's talk about the candidates that could have been the candidates for this. Let's think about the process of what Mark Boucher thought about the way he did things, and why he selected Temba Bavuma as the captain. I think that's the best way to answer this question. So when looking at it, initially they made Faf du Plessis the captain of the ODIs. They dropped him as the captain, and then they made Quinton de Kock captain of the white ball format. Now, the aim was always to put someone in charge that has experience in South African cricket. And they looked around the dressing room and they looked at who has experience as a captain at domestic level. And they tried to look at people that have captained at domestic level already and wanted to pick the perfect candidate that they thought was a perfect captain. Based on the amount of matches and series that he has now won 2 on the bounce, Temba Bavuma, he's now won 2 series on the bounce. It's a good record for a start to a captaincy. Yes, they are lesser opponents than what Quinton had, because Quinton obviously had the Pakistan tour to do, and that is a lot of pressure because in Pakistan it's quite tough to be able to perform there, and it's the first time in 13 years, a lot of pressure on him. So it's very harsh to rate Quinton's captaincy, but I think Quinton did quite well in the white ball arena. So I understood them dropping Quinton as the test captain, but it didn't make sense to me on why they dropped him the captaincy from when it comes to Quinton de Kock in the white ball arena. Currently, based on the experience from a captaincy level at domestic level, Temba is the best suited one in the white ball format because he's done it for years at the Lions and they've won plenty of trophies underneath him. And I think that with Enoch being there, Enoch trusts Temba Bavuma, and I think that's the reason why they they picked Temba Bavuma as the captain. So from an experience point of view, if you look for the guy that is the most experienced, that has captaincy behind him, then Temba should be the obvious choice. His performances have not backed up his captaincy. I think his captaincy has been good, the way he's captained the side from a bowling perspective. The bowlers have been performing well as well, and the way he's rotated the bowlers and picked these bowlers when they should bowl and when they shouldn't, that has been good. But he needs to improve his performances as well, because as a captain, you also need to perform. There has been incidences. Yes, we can talk about incidences of captains that maybe didn't perform through their career, but were just good captains. But I don't want to use that as an example, because we know what Temba is capable of. What is your thoughts on him as captain, Aditya? Because at first I wanted Aiden Martin to be captain, and I wanted them to think ahead and try to pick a young captain from the beginning. Before they even made Quinton captain, I wanted Aiden to be the next captain of the FAF and build a team around Aiden Markram, and then go into the 2023 World Cup with him, and into the T20 Cup with him, because there would have been enough games to play when Boucher took over. There was enough experience for him as a captain. But I think their thought process was they want to look for someone short term until they found someone long term. And I think they wanted Aiden to first get his record up and get some runs on the board and get his confidence up with regards to the batting before they selected him. But that's just my view of this whole scenario. Aditya, what is yours?
I agree with you. Look, I don't know what it means for someone to be the perfect choice for T20 captain, because I think there is a rationale for everyone, for a couple of candidates in virtually every team who can be captain, and there are pros and cons. With Temba, I think everything you said, and generally, I think they wanted someone who had some sort of leadership responsibility and who's been in international cricket for a period of time. Temba has been in international cricket longer than Aiden, and longer than virtually anyone in that team, except for perhaps David Miller. So Miller wasn't considered for the captaincy, so it only seemed obvious that Temba would be given the captaincy. And I don't know whether the South African team management would consider a bowler like KG, for example, because he does have a smart cricketing brain, and it does seem like that would have been an unconventional choice, perhaps. But given the composition of the team, it appeared as if Temba would have been one of the central choices, captain.
Mm-hmm. Praneet asking, what did CSA do to AB? What did AB do to CSA is the question. No, I don't think CSA did anything to AB. I think AB decided he wanted to retire, and he retired. It's as simple as that. CSA asking him to come back is because they obviously wanted possibly the best batsman in the world currently in T20 format to come back, one of the best batsmen at least, to come back and play for South Africa, because you want your best players available. AB's turned it down, so it's as simple as that. I mean, before the 2019 World Cup as well, they asked him. He messed people around with regards to that. He said he's going to come back, then he didn't come back, and then he asked to come back just before the World Cup, apparently. That's allegedly what they said. If AB wants to clear that up, he can come on the Cricket Fanatics magazine daily show and tell us about that. But ultimately, that's the answer that I can give you for that, because I don't think it's necessarily CSA that did that to AB. I think CSA actually have always looked after AB throughout the years. That is what it seemed like for years and years since he's come through the system. Always giving him the opportunities to perform at his best level. He's always had choices and given power to make choices as a captain, and given power to make choices as a player, when to rest, when not to rest. He's always had power with regards to that. So I think CSA has been excellent with AB. It's AB that doesn't want to play for South Africa again. And maybe it's a money thing, maybe it's a team selection thing, or maybe he doesn't agree with the principles that we want to go with into this World Cup. I don't know what it is. AB is the only one that can answer those questions. What's your thoughts, Aditya?
Well, first off, for any AB de Villiers related content, please scroll through all the videos that Cricket Fanatics magazine has put up over the last year. You'll find plenty. But to answer your question, Praneeth, Uh, it just it's as simple as AB found the grind of international cricket to be too grueling, and he simply didn't want to do it anymore. So I don't think it had anything to do with the CSA. It was just AB's decision to retire, and he did.
I see someone saying here that they gave hopes of AB to return to international cricket. No, AB gave those hopes and Boucher gave those hopes. I don't think CSA gave those hopes specifically. The message didn't come from necessarily Cricket South Africa. It came from the coaching staff and AB de Villiers himself, teasing us in the IPL, saying things in things that are non-related to Cricket South Africa. So IPL is not, CSA doesn't have the fingers in the IPL. So that was all AB saying that he wants to come back and people running with it. Let's go to the next one. That's not a question. No, that's not a question. Okay. Should we ever stop bantering Aaron about Oddie Pebblestone? No, we should not. I think everybody should banter him when he comes on the show. We know Aaron is a patriot and he believes in everything that's got to do with England. And I'm saying things without him being here. Hopefully that he messages us in the live chat to say he wants to come on here and defend himself. I'm always trying to bait him out. But no, we should give him a nice hard time. All with respect, of course, because it's banter both ways. You guys don't see Aaron in our WhatsApp groups and the way he goes after us there. So it's all comes back in full circle. We just brought it to the live chat. We can't hide. That's all we do with him. So that's the smart period. I'm going to move on from that one, Aditya, because this is one of those funny ones. Let me give you this one. Now, who's the best test seam bowler of all time? Now, I know what Aaron would say. But what would you say, Aditya?
All time. That's a difficult one. I would probably go with, if you're just looking at statistics, then I'd say James Anderson would be high up on that list. What goes against him is the fact that his away record is not as good as his record at home. But yeah, I'd say Dale Stein, and obviously the two legends from Pakistan, Wasim Akram and Waqar Yunus. It's very hard to pick one, but I'd go with. I think personally, I feel like the most skillful bowler of all time is probably Wasim Akram. So that's what I'd go with.
Okay, it's a difficult one because when you look at the best test bowler of all time, and it is test bowler, it's not. No, it's seam bowler, test seam bowler of all time. It's tough because you have to look at, when you look at James Anderson, he's in 162 games, he's taken 617 wickets. That's spinner numbers. So like it's crazy. Then you have McGrath, who in 124 matches has taken 563. And then you have to look at the average and economy rates over there as well. Dale Steyn is the one that I'd pick. And the reason why is because he affected me personally the most. And also because of the getting to 439 wickets in 93 matches. He's played a significant amount less than the rest of the people above him of matches. And his average is 22. And I think he was so devastating and so difficult to play. But I mean, you can't not look at Wasim Akram. You can't not look at someone like Stuart Broad and James Anderson because of what they've done in the game as a seam bowler over the period of time that they've played. I mean, to bowl for so long and play so many games as well is an achievement on its own. You know, Test cricket is not an easy easy format to play. As you can see, we spoke about it in our latest issue of the magazine. Go to cricketfanaticsmag.com/monthly-magazine if you want to download the latest issue over there. But yeah, it's a difficult format, and I think we must give credit to those guys that have done so. I think mine would be Dale Steyn because I'm South African, and what Dale Steyn's done for Test cricket in South Africa, I think he's revolutionized the way bowlers can dominate over a period of time. And the fact that he only played like 93 games in his Test career, I think should give him extra like bonuses, I would say, to when it comes to that, the extra bonus when it comes to that. I mean, to get a record like he had, considering that is the amount of games he played, is quite phenomenal. I think to become the greatest seamer that South Africa's ever produced. Let's go to the next one. Oh, what is the biggest life lesson that we have learned? Do you want to go first, Aditya? I'm trying to think of mine.
Ooh, that's a deep one, man.
Yeah.
Wait, you're asking us some difficult
Clickbait.
questions here. The biggest life lesson is, I'd say, embrace diversity, and revel in your interactions with people from different cultures, different backgrounds, and you know, try to. I don't want to say be a tolerant individual, be an accepting individual. And, certainly empathize with, with their life struggles and their backgrounds and so on. And I'd say be adaptable as well.
Oh. I think for me, all of the things that you said, of course. So I'm going to try to think of something different. I think you should. I think focusing on one thing and trying to become the master of one thing is so important in life. I feel when we're younger, we put our eggs in so many different baskets, and we try to be good at so many different things. Maybe pressure from your parents, maybe pressure from family members for you to do plenty of different things, and then you become a jack of all trades and a master of none. When you look at the heroes that we look up to in the sporting world, the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Sachin Tendulkar, likes of Muhammad Ali. We can look at guys like Michael Jordan or so many great sporting, Tiger Woods. They focused on one thing, and that was their particular thing that they wanted to focus on. And they became a master that they dedicated their life. So never give up on your dream if you want to become something. Obviously, you need the talent as well. The talent's important. Yes, hard work can get you there, but talent will take you to that extra mile of the unknown. Get through that threshold of difficulty. I think the biggest life lesson I've learned is that with difficulty, there's ease at the end. And the obstacle is the way. Go through that obstacle to get to what you desire, and never give up, because you're the only person that can get you where you need to be. Don't listen to guys around you or haters around you that are going to say that you can't do something. Just do it, and believe in yourself wholeheartedly, and back yourself. And the people around you that care about you can't back you and support you, then they're not supposed to be in your life. I'm sorry, that's my take on it. Because nobody will want you to succeed more than you do. So just believe in that. Let's go to the next one. No, I'm not going to answer my age. That's a rude question, Ashin. I'm joking. that I'll keep you guys in suspense about that. Question for either of you: if you had to nominate another candidate for the trusted finisher, who would you back? Oof, that's an excellent question, Abai. It would be nice if you were here so I could ask you if you wanted someone that's currently in the squad or someone that's maybe never played for South Africa. Is it a debutant? But let's answer. For me, domestically, I would have liked to see someone like Vian Lubbe get an opportunity to play the finisher role. I think he has all the talent to be able to do so, but he was never given the opportunity to do that role. He was given so much responsibility in his debut to bat at 3, which is a massive role to fill. International batting 3 in international cricket and batting 3 at domestic level is a totally different ball game. I've seen his ability to be able to finish off games, and I would have liked to see him maybe in the number 6 role. And also he adds a spin bowling option. So I think he would have been an excellent. If George Linder got a chance, I think Vian Lubbe also deserves a chance, even though George has been a little bit outperforming him in the longer formats in cricket. But when it comes to the MSL, Vian Lubbe showed his caliber. I also think another person like Marco Murray didn't get the opportunity in in Proteas colors. He came on tour, but he never got the opportunity. And I think he's a specialized finisher that we never gave a chance or an opportunity. I also think Aya Kamane, he showed his amazing ability recently on slower wickets. And I think that as if we're looking for a black African batsman, that's someone that we should give an opportunity. He's an all-rounder as well, and I think he has an ability to be able to show what he can do in the latter stages. He's not also that old, so I think it's a good opportunity for someone like him. Who do you think, Aditya?
From the current crop of players, I'd go with Vivian Libber, because we've seen glimpses of what he's capable of, and an extended run at number 6 would serve him well. Additionally, from the domestic circuit, I'd say Miguel Pretorius deserves an opportunity there as well. But if Kyle Verreynne can improve his power game a little bit, he could be a good candidate for number 6.
Sure, that's excellent, and he'll be a different type of number 6 as well. Looking at Kyle Verreynne. He's a different type of number 6 because he's not necessarily someone that's going to maybe smash the ball over the boundary out of the stadium. He's going to be a guy that can find the ropes with good cricket shots. Kamani is experienced. He's been around for quite some time. So I think it's only fair that maybe if you're going to give people guys that have been experienced in this ball game, if you're going to give them an opportunity, then give guys that have been experienced in this particular format. Maybe it's his averages in cricket don't really match his talent completely. So maybe that's the reason why. But I think recently he's come to his own and he's found something extra. But okay, I still think Vian Libber would be my first choice, or even a Delano Potgieter. And they're asking about stuff in the comments. But why are you stealing our question answer show here? Let's do. Mala has been pushed to number 6. That's not a question. There's a chat happening on its own here. Here we go. Param, Khalid and Aditya, who would be the favorites in the India tour of SA Test series in December, Jan this year? Well, that's an easy one to answer. Just look a lot more settled. They know that everybody knows their roles. I think they're trying to help the next generation take over, and get that and find their feet. They have the perfect amount of balance between experience and youth. I think it's a different situation now than it was when they last toured here. South Africa were a lot more settled there. We had AB de Villiers, Morne Morkel. We still had a great team then of experience and youth. Aiden Markram was like showing the world what he was capable of, and it was perfect for him to come into a team with so much experience. Whereas now, it's a much younger team that's going to take the field against a very, very good all-rounded India side. So I think, and their seam bowling has improved so much. So that the whole thing that we're talking about when it comes to seam bowling in India goes out of the window, because I think their seam bowlers have really come to the fold and showed how world-class they can be. Teacher, you also assuming that you all agree with that one.
If India get the preparation right and they select well, then I'd say India would have the upper hand. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because even in 2017, on the outside, it felt like India were the favorites to win that series, but they didn't end up performing to potential. So I'd be a bit wary there, but I do think that this is India's best opportunity to win their first series in South Africa.
Abai's asked another one. Don't you feel that number 6 is too low a batting position for Dave Miller? If it was my decision, I would say yes, it is too low, because we've seen how David Miller has been performing recently. He's needed a couple of balls to get in. He's needed an opportunity to get himself settled before he can be that launch pad hitter that we love to see. And if I look at the team right now, I mean, the ideal situation would be to have in T20 cricket to have Rassie 3 and Miller maybe at 4 or 5, and having Markram at 4 or 5 with him. Currently, with the current team, is Janneman maybe steps out because he has the least amount of experience and he's not the captain ultimately. If I'm going to think realistically now, according to what Boucher would do, then moving David Miller up higher when Dwayne Pretorius comes back is probably what they will do. I'm thinking probably. I'm not saying this is what they should do. I'm saying probably this is what will happen. So why I will say no, it's not too low for him currently is because what he said in his press conference. I think that changed my mind. Before, Miller used to say that, no, he wants to bat higher up or he wants to take more responsibility. Leading up to Boucher's appointment and after, he was speaking like that with regards to white ball cricket. But what he said in the latest interview is that, and you've done the press conference yourself, Abba, so you will know this obviously, but I'm speaking to the rest of the guys that don't know and haven't read haven't watched the press conference. He said that he wants to, South Africa need him to be that person for them. And because he knows and understands that, I think he will perform there. And I think he can solve that problem for South Africa. It gives the opportunities to other guys that can be explosive too, and gives us a lot more depth in that top 6. Claims not because he was a leader. Anyone know when? Do you want to answer this one? Anyone knows when the RSA versus Sri Lanka ODIs are? I haven't seen anything released yet.
No idea.
Yeah, so we don't know that one. ABD was treated badly, is what Bevan says. I don't agree with that really. What do you think?
I'm not so sure, mate. Go back to 2015 when AB decided to take a self-imposed sabbatical that basically included just test matches. There was no fatigue involved with T20 cricket overseas or with limited overs cricket. And then after a brief return into the test arena in 2018, he decided to retire. So maybe he just didn't feel it anymore. I don't know if he was treated badly or not. He certainly hasn't indicated that.
I mean, whenever he asked to come back, we considered it. So I don't know if he was treated badly. Fans were destroyed by the way he retired. He retired in a way that I thought was I said it was a smack in the face to South African cricket fans, because we would have liked to be in the stadium chanting ABD's name one last time. You know what I mean? Before he retired. I mean, he had Australia series to actually tell us that he's going to retire, and he could have done the way Morkel did it. Morkel came out early, said that he's going to retire. The whole stadium sang for him, clapped him off. He got the reception he deserved when he walked off that field. Kyle Abbott, when he signed a Colpack, had the decency to actually come into a press conference and tell us that that's what the decision that he's made after he spoke to all the teammates. ABD just went to his university at Tux and shot a Twitter video and released it on Twitter. I thought that he could have actually given us a press conference. He was a previous captain, call a press conference. I mean, Jock Cullis announced it on Christmas Day. It was a massive thing. It was everybody had put down their Christmas forks and all were commemorating this amazing player. So I just think that he could have done it in a nicer way, in a better way, personally. But he owes nothing to any of us. I just expected him to do so because of who AB de Villiers is. But my expectations maybe were a little bit too high. In Sri Lanka series...
Sorry, just one more thing. There's always this talk, and I say this with complete respect for international cricketers, and the challenging schedules that they have to endure. But sometimes there needs to be a degree of perspective as to what your position is in the game and what your experiences are exactly. Because as a South African cricketer, he had a great run. He was a superstar of the game and all of that. But when he came home, he could actually relax. He can walk the streets of Pretoria if he wants to. He can walk in Cape Town and Johannesburg, he won't get mocked. He's been in the IPL for enough years to know what that experience can be for Indian cricketers. Virat Kohli cannot go out of his house when he's in Bombay. He cannot venture out of his house. If he wants to go to a restaurant, he has to tell the restaurant hours in advance that he's going to be there so that they can organize a secluded table for him. He can't go through the main entrance of a restaurant. He has to go through the kitchen entrance or a fire exit.
I
So
don't want to expose. I don't want to expose these guys here now. But
I mean,
when
he said this himself.
yeah, I mean, I went to there's a place called Mojo Market in Cape Town. It's a little market that sells foods and things like that, and they have little live band and stuff like that. I went there one evening, and Aiden, Chris Morris, and Dean Alger were chilling there, just chilling, eating their food. And I went up to them and sat down next to them, spoke to them a little bit. Like I spoke mainly Aiden. They and guys didn't really notice them. So like it was weird. Like people walked past there, they were doing their thing, and Aiden, Dean, and Chris Morris, who's like the richest guy in the flippant world when it comes to IPL, is chilling there, like the most expensive IPL player. He's chilling there but nobody bothered him. I think I only saw in the hour that I was chatting with, in the hour that I was there, I think I only saw two kids walk up to them shy, like they were like holding onto their parents' like hand and a leg and saying like too scared to go up to them. Like I mean, you're right in saying that 100%. I don't know if AB will. I don't know how it is with AB if he goes out or not in malls and stuff, but I know for the CSA awards, we were all in the Santon Hotel and they would go down to the mall and the hotel are in the same building. So you just go down the lift and you're in the mall. And if you walk in the mall, I mean, KG, I remember just before the awards, like maybe 4 or 5 hours before the awards, a couple of them went shopping together, like Faf, AB, all of, I don't know if AB went out, but I remember seeing KG, Lungi and them walking around and going shopping. And then they came back up to the lift with their shopping bags and just went to the hotel room. So I don't think that you can do that if you're going to get mobbed. So Aditya, I think it's
This
spot on there.
same thing. You ask Ricky Ponting, and he will tell you that in the 15, 20 odd years that he's played international cricket against India, he has never seen Sachin Tendulkar at breakfast, ever. And it's not because Sachin Tendulkar doesn't wake up for breakfast. It's because if Sachin Tendulkar goes down for breakfast, he's going to be mobbed. He cannot.
That's
Like
insane.
it's guys like Sachin and Virat. It's easier for them to be overseas than it is for them to be in India because they can go out for walks in London or Sydney or Melbourne and they'll be fine. But they can't do the same thing in their hometowns. So sometimes I don't. And AB's been exposed to Indian cricket long enough. He's good friends with Virat. So I would have hoped that there was a degree of perspective that was employed before arriving at that decision with such haste.
I never asked you, have you ever experienced something like that where you've seen cricketers get like mobbed in India? Like, have you ever experienced or seen it live, like the way that was?
Absolutely, a number of times,
Tell me some
so
of
many,
that. I like to hear these stories.
so many times, so many times. Okay, off the top of my head, when off the top of my head, when I wasn't in Mumbai, but I know this because of I had a number of people who witnesses. I was studying at the time in America, and when the 2011 World Cup was won, Sachin's family was joining him at the stadium, so his car was coming in, and somehow fans recognized that it was his voice, and the sheer force of the fans was such that they ended up breaking the windshield of his car. That was that was the degree, and we're not even talking about Sachin wasn't in there. It was his wife and his kids who were in the car, along with the driver. So that's that's one thing that I can remember. But I've been in stadiums multiple times, where Sachin and MS Dhoni and these guys, they literally there was a warm up game. I have to tell you this. There was a warm up game in the I think 2016 World Cup between in India, the T20 World Cup. There was a warm up game. I think it was between India and South Africa, And what had happened was that Yuvraj Singh had cancer and he had recovered from it. And after that, he was in and out of the team. So everyone missed Yuvraj Singh and MS Dhoni because they were considered to be the finishers in Indian cricket. And when they batted, they knew that fireworks were a guarantee. So there was this one game between India and South Africa. It was a warm-up game, okay, and absolutely packed, like 40,000 people for a warm-up game between India and South Africa. And I think India needed some like 40 runs in the last 2 overs. The noise in the stadium, I assure you, it felt like there was an earthquake there, and the stadium was shaking
Yeah.
when MS Dhoni and Yuvraj Singh were together batting at the same time. It was insane.
That's insane. I mean, I saw a little bit of that when you guys came down to South Africa to play the Test series, and I was walking back with Virat. Like, it was by complete chance. Don't think that I'm friends with Virat and I was walking back with him. No, what happened was I came out of the media box because I was busy uploading a couple of videos. Normally, the journalists will try to get to the media room as quick as possible so that they can get their seat and settle themselves before the guests come in. But I was running a bit late. So by chance, I walked in with Virat, and Virat came out first. And Faf, I think, was next after that, I think. So we were walking, I was walking out of the media box, and Faf came with his like bodyguard basically. And it was after a match play. And I think, I don't know how the Indian fans, because there were a couple of Indian fans that came down and to support from India. Like, I mean, you also did so. But I mean, there were quite a few that came for the test matches. And I don't know how I don't know if they were just waiting there to see which players would come out. But as I walked, I managed to come out, and then Virat came out here, and I was walking next to Virat. And Virat said hi. I said hi to Virat, and he said hi to me, and then we started chatting. And the people on the side were going insane, like they were going crazy. Like I was like, what's going on? And then someone tried to grab me, and someone asked me for a picture, and someone asked me to, and I don't know these people, and I'm new in this industry, so it's not like anybody knew who I am. It's just by the fact that I'm standing next to Virat and talking to him, they wanted to, I don't know what they wanted to do. So it was a crazy, crazy scenario. So I got a bit of that. And I think that you guys almost prepare for that naturally. When Shah Rukh Khan, I was at the waterfront one day, and Shah Rukh Khan was here. And he went to a movie. I can't remember the movie's name, but his family sat in one whole row, and two bodyguards on either side, and one by the back door. They went serious with all seriousness. It was an empty movie, really. It was only, I can't remember who I went with. I think it was me, my parents, and my sister, and we sat in the row in front of them. So you turn around, you can look at Shah Rukh Khan sitting there with his family, and they came prepared for like a mob. But I don't think people even recognized him, even though there's a massive, massive fan base for him in South Africa. So it's crazy. It's not like when Justin Bieber came here and people were sleeping outside his hotel room. That's probably how the day in life of Virat Kohli every single day of his life when he's living in India.
I mean, I know actors where it's been discovered that they were in a certain city, and like with Shah Rukh Khan, for example, I think it's no, this is Hrithik Roshan actually. So like the day his first movie came out, it became an overnight sensation at the age of 26. He had no idea that was going to happen, you know. So it's like before the movie released, the day before the movie released, no one knew him. The day after the movie released, the entire country knew him, and the day after that, he received like 30 wedding proposals. So it is insane, you know. And the same applies to cricket as well. You know, when Virat Kohli got married, a lot of hearts were broken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is a very tough one for me to answer. Why have we failed to get world-class all-rounders after Klusener and Pollock? Is a lack of quality, or we haven't used them well? Albie Morkel is surely a case of not using well. You know what I think it is, Aditya, and this is just my thought process and me analyzing sports that I support as well. In football, it happens too, where timing is everything in sport. timing is so important. I can give you an example. There was a time when Manchester United were looking for a striker. It was under Louis van Gaal, and we were looking for a world class striker. We signed. I don't think we signed. We had Robin van Persie still at the time, and he was getting older, and Van Gaal wanted to get rid of him, and they were looking for a striker to replace, to take the team forward as a youngster. And what happened was Will Keane was the top scorer at the amateur level at that time. He got a horrendous injury. And the second person in charge, James Wilson, also got a massive injury. So the next in line was Marcus Rashford, who wasn't playing as a striker for the youth system at the time. And he was brought up into the first team and scored on his debut, and the rest was history. So he got his opportunity, and he took it just by chance. Someone got injured. Now, in South Africa's case, we've had great all-rounders for so many years, and the likes of Lance Klusener, the likes of Sean Pollock, the likes of Jacques Callis, the likes of who else can I mention that I don't want to mess up anybody and forget anybody, but the likes of those, let's just use those for now. They played for so many years for South Africa that if there was anybody else knocking on the door, the chances of them playing was slim. Particularly because we had someone like Jacques Callis who was so excellent in his role, batting high up the order and bowling. It was like something that you hardly ever find. He was a once in a blue moon type of player. So I think because people were occupying those spots, a lot of guys that were, when we did produce a bulk of them, a lot of them didn't get to see national colors because we had trusted people in those positions. I think something that's happening now is there are quite a few youngsters available as all-rounders in the country that are just on the verge of getting their national call up. Like they a little bit too young, that I've seen talented players that I've seen that are maybe just a little too young to get that opportunities. Marco Antoine is an example of that. Like they're on the verge, on the brink. Now, a big question I want to ask is, how can the IPL and Mumbai Indians play Marco Jansen in a game like that under all of those lights, under that pressure, but South Africa don't give him an opportunity? That shocks me. I think it's just about giving opportunities. We haven't been giving these guys opportunities to play because we've looked for specialists in positions because we're looking to rebuild. What is your thoughts on this, Aditya?
You know, a lot of it has to do with nurturing players. You know, if you look at Callis, for example, he was averaging 22 after 7 test matches. In this day and age, that would be considered unacceptable. But he was given the opportunity, and I suppose the time that he came in, there wasn't as much scrutiny on players. You know, there was no social media. They didn't have people like us, you know, rattling off statistics and you know, telling the community that this is exactly what's happening. Now, with respect to Klusener and Pollock, I don't think they were handled very well towards the end of their careers. You know, Klusener could have played for a much longer time than he did, and he could have helped South Africa groom a few more players as well. It's unfortunate that Pollock also finished when he did. What's happened after that is that Callis was at the peak of his career, and South Africa didn't need another all-rounder in the team with Callis already around. And because South Africa always tried to play their strongest team, the next all-rounder in line didn't get as many opportunities. So Albie Mokel, case in point. Albie Mokel was a better player than his statistics suggest. And again, as you mentioned about Marco Jansen, Albie Mokel is a legend at the Chennai Super Kings. He almost always bowled his 4 overs when he was in the team. So he was brilliant there. But what I think is going wrong for South Africa is that I don't think they're nurturing players well enough. They need to do that a lot better. You know, the Mumbai Indians environment is great for grooming. Can you believe it that an international franchise is monitoring a young South African player who's not even 20 for the last 2 years? That is staggering to me. Mm-hmm. You know, and one other thing I'd say about that is that an environment has to be conducive to growth. I don't think the domestic environment is doing that. You know, in this day and age, players need to be closer to the finished article than they probably had to be 10 or 20 years ago. You know, where international cricket would help them become the finished article, but I don't think that's the case any longer.
Look at this cheeky Dan here, asking us to choose between Dan Cricket and Dan Alexander. You know, Dan, you need to come on the shows a lot more for us to be able to make this decision, eh? Dan Alexander's been dedicated with us and coming on the shows regularly, and all of those things. Yeah, you're working, excuses. But until you come on more shows, then we can answer this question. He then asked who does of course, and he said DJ Khalid, of course, support now that the Cobras no longer exist. I'll need to call him up and ask him actually. Does anybody have DJ Khaled's number? I don't have it personally. He's the best, so it's very difficult for me to find him and scoop through. If you're referring to me without the DJ, then I'll still support. It's difficult for me to choose between who I support because both of the teams that I would support, Poland and Western Province, are both in the Division A. So it's making it tough for me to choose between the two. I support both. As a journalist, it's difficult to choose a team. I just support players. I support guys that I'm interested in watching, and I support the good cricket. But Western Province is where I'm from. So Western Province, with regards to sport, I represented Western Province. So Western Province first, and as well as Boland. I think both of them I support. I can't really pick between that. Sorry, Dan. I'm sitting on the fence with that one. Let's go to the next one. Wait, that's a massive Aditya who won the match, but I don't know what they're talking about. Remember, guys, do you know what he's talking about?
India, Sri Lanka.
Oh, is he talking about that? Oh, sorry. You see, we're busy while we're talking. I can't get to all the comments, so it's very, very difficult. You guys are very insightful. Thanks a lot, Clickbait. Very underrated channel. Thank you a lot. Please smash that like button. Please subscribe. Khalid, don't mind the haters. Thank you. Keep on believing. Thank you. I mean, he's always giving us great. Faf as a bodyguard. No, it was Virat Kohli that had a bodyguard that walked. All the team protector. What do you call him? The team bodyguard or the team? There was a name for it. I can't remember what it is. The team security. We have Zunaid, and I don't know who India's one is. Zunaid is a king. Black belt karate guys.
But to answer your question, does Faf have a bodyguard? I'd recommend you watch the video of Faf at the Adelaide airport in 2012. That should probably answer your question.
Yeah, that was Zunaid. So yeah, he's the South African security proper guy. Always like chatting to him. He always gives me some nice insights into it. He's a funny man, that man. And don't mess with him, eh? Like I said, black belt and karate. Khalid, who will win the 30-20? Will Temba score big? Yes, South Africa, and yes. I have to believe in Temba at some point. He needs to score runs to get people off his back, really. And we want the captain of South Africa to obviously score runs. If you support South Africa, you would want the captain to score runs, no matter who he is and what your hatred is. Aditya, what's your thoughts? I'll let you answer this one too.
Who will win the 30-20? I think South Africa will win the 30-20. And we predicted at the beginning of the series that South Africa will win 3-0. So hopefully that happens. Will Temba score big? Fingers crossed. We want him to succeed. He's the captain of the South African T20 team. And he deserves to be there. And I hope he scores really, really big.
Daniel wants to know, if I come to India to watch cricket, can I stay with you, please, Aditya?
Well, at the moment, as things are going, quarantine for 14 days, and then you're most welcome.
Yes, and get the vaccine, Dad. Where am I now? I just lost my place. Okay, cool. Is Virat handsome? I'm gonna answer that question. According to females, he is. Who would win the octagon between Virat and Faf? Faf, any day of the week, boy. Faf comes from Pretoria. That's my answer for that one. What is your thoughts, Aditya? Who do you think will win?
I don't know, what's he referring to exactly in the octagon?
Sorry. The octagon is like in MMA.
Oh, the boxing.
In a,
Okay.
yeah, in like in the MMA, in the UFC ring.
Oh yeah. I think Faf has probably grown up with playing more contact sport, as South Africans generally do, than than Indians do. So I think Faf probably has the advantage there. He's also a bigger
Mhm.
guy generally. He's a bit taller and
Yeah. But I don't. If you see, I'm worried about Faf, man, because is Faf gonna be too scared to get punched in the face or not? Like I don't know. And I know he's probably been in these fights when he was younger, but now he's like a model and everything. So like you don't want to get punched in the face. I mean, I know Cristiano Ronaldo would not want to get to scuffles at all. Is the level of hockey good in South Africa? You see, it's I don't know what it is about South African sport, but school level hockey in South Africa is very competitive, very good. Um, I feel that South Africa has not performed at the potential in hockey in the highest level. I think when we looked what the national sport for India is, apparently it's hockey, which surprised me a lot when I saw that. So you guys are obviously very good at hockey. It's your most successful team as well, your India hockey team. They've won the most amount of, isn't it the most amount of championships that they've played? Um, from I think that's how they rate what is your national sport. I don't know.
no, I
You'll
think
know
part of
more.
it is also predicated in colonial history, in that cricket
Oh,
came from the Brits, and therefore
oh, okay.
it's not the national sport.
Okay, cool. Okay, Miller or Morgan? Miller.
No question about it. David.
Morgan's good though. Like I like Morgan's. Funny enough, I like his presence and his personality in press conference. I enjoyed being in the press conference with Morgan. He just was calm, collected, and just answered the questions. He wasn't the funniest guy. Like I think Mark Wood was excellent. He was super funny. I enjoyed every minute with him in, in the press conference. Um,
Morgan is the statesman. He's
hmm,
the analytical, clinical sort
yeah,
of individual who studies the game deeply and is open-minded enough to accept that the game will evolve. But if you look at his career, the trajectory of his career, he's a classic example of an individual who gave up first-class cricket too early, because that contributed to the stagnation in his game.
yeah.
But David
This,
Miller, as a cricketing specimen, power hitter, fielder, everything.
nah, the man is so
But
bloody. Like I don't want to say talented anymore, man. He's world class, man. And we just want to see it
yeah,
more consistently. Khalid, thoughts on the transformation hearings? Honest opinion, SJN. Okay, my opinion is I've watched almost all of them. Um, I missed maybe two or three. My opinion is just, it was very sad to hear those stories. Personally, I felt quite emotional listening to them because I've heard stories like these all my life growing up. I wasn't at the age to experience apartheid necessarily firsthand. I wasn't old enough to experience it. I obviously come in a general generation when democracy happened. I grew up in a time where I got opportunities thanks to my parents and the sacrifices they made to get opportunities to be able to go to good schools, etc. So, from that perspective, I didn't get those experiences that were spoken about, but I've always heard about them from friends older than me, from parents, etc., and other people around, family members and stuff, and what they had to go through. So it was very saddening to hear those and to see these guys resort to tears while they're giving their hearings, etc. Was very very sad for me. I'm a very emotional person, and so those type of things really get to me when I see that, when I see people in pain. But I'm not going to make any opinions on it until I've heard both sides of the story. It's very easy to run and just believe everything that was said by the victims, and because so many, it's so easier to accept it because so many have said it. But I would like to hear from both sides what people would say. I would like to hear what the opposite end says, whether they own up to it or don't, or try to avoid the questions, etc. That's all very going to be very important. Silence speaks louder than words, I feel. That's me personally. I think silence is just as bad as saying nothing. I mean, as saying something. I think silence is worse. So silence speaks for itself as well. But I do respect people that remain silent out of their reasons. Everybody has their reasons for doing things. So that's just my opinion on that. I'm not going to let Aditya answer this because I only want him to speak when the things when the real true everything, all the evidence comes out. Khalid, do you watch what? Kabaddi. What's that? What's that?
It's an Indian sport. I won't explain it to you on air, but I guess you can YouTube it will be a better idea.
Okay, I'll do that definitely. Thanks for the tip, Pranit. Who? Okay. Oops. How popular is cricket in South Africa? How does it compare with rugby? Big question. Rugby is the national sport. It's our. I think rugby is the biggest sport with regards to commercialization, all of those type of things. And I actually might be wrong with regards to that, But from a popular perspective, football, PSL football is massive in South Africa. The numbers that go to stadiums to watch the likes of Orlando Pirates and all of those guys play. It's a massive sport in South Africa that we don't actually support it as much, but rugby's brought the nation together, I feel. Nelson Mandela used rugby to bring the nation together, racial divides, all of those things. So I would say rugby is bigger than cricket currently in South Africa. You can see that people drop everything for a rugby national game. We bunked school to go see the trophy. I mean, it's hectic after that. But I think that after South Africa wins a rugby World Cup, when it does it, a cricket World Cup, when it eventually happens, I think the nation will shut down because it's been so long since we wanted to see that. Okay, that's the same question. I'm just going to give you two more guys. Khalid, Aditya, Butler, or Maxwell. I'll give you this one. Aditya to go first. I'm going to say anything else.
I'll go with Butler.
Oh,
more consistency.
Okay. Wow. Just because of RCB, I'll go Maxwell. And just to go against you, because he can spin a bit. Not joking. Miller to see the stats of all three. Box versus line predictions, Aditya. Come on, Aditya.
Box.
Get behind it. You see, Dan doesn't want to ask me any. Guys, have you noticed that, guys? Dan doesn't want to ask me any questions, eh? I just hope that you guys are seeing these things. Do you think box all the way, 100%?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, this is a biltong man sitting in front of me, man. Oh no, you're an Aussie. Who are you speaking to? Me.
Yeah, I think because you picked Maxwell.
Oh, because I picked Maxwell. Oh no. I don't know, man. Josh Butler. The reason why I don't do Josh Butler after I saw that video of, if you had to pick anybody else in the England team, I'll probably pick the England guy. But after I saw that video of Josh Butler, what he was saying to Vernon Philander, after that I was like, nah, sorry guys, sorry. Khalid, your profile as a cricket player. Huh?
I think what he means is what you do as a cricket player. Like, what's your specialty, perhaps?
Oh, when I did play cricket. When I was younger, like in primary school, I opened the batting, opened the bowling, captained the side. That was when I got my first opportunity to go for Western Province trials when I was younger. Judo took preference, obviously, of course. I didn't make it to the final trials of Western Province. I lost out in the last round. So we have like 2-3 rounds before you get the actual final Western Province team. So when I played in high school, first term I batted 3 and opened the bowling, but then I stopped playing cricket and I did water polo, so for the rest of grade 8 and grade 9. And then afterwards, when I started playing again, I played number 7 because number 7 was my favorite number. So in high school, grade 10, before I busted my knee through judo, grade 10 and 11, I batted 7 and I bowled 3 first change. So that was my What are you, Aditya?
A batsman and medium pacer.
Excellent. But where do you bat? Are you Callis or are you Morris?
Well, hopefully, generally in the top order, but I'm happy to give it a few smacks down there as well at number 6 and number 7. But yeah, generally in the top order.
Okay, awesome. Dan Cricket, please join the stream regularly. Are you listening? How many more people have to ask you, eh? Hey? He says, Aditya, you must wear a box jersey for the next podcast or he's gonna unsubscribe.
Yeah, I saw that, but I have a solution for that as well. It's that when you come to Bombay to visit me and stay with me, you can bring a jersey along with you. That'd be perfect. Because unfortunately, Amazon India doesn't seem to be selling box jerseys.
Funny story about this, Pranit. The reason I wasn't picked was because they told me they were looking for more of a Jock Callis type of player, because I wasn't the type of player that played the ball on the ground and like took my time at the crease. And because I was an opening batsman, they said they were looking for more of a guy that could, be a little bit more patient at the crease. Because this came out 2 balls out of hit. So maybe Ashid's right. I should have maybe batted 7 rather. Okay, real question. Who will make the semifinals of the World Cup? That is an excellent question. Let me just bring up Flip. I don't have the groups again. Because I have to obviously look at who's in. So it's a 2 from one side and 2 from the next side in the semifinal straight. Okay, I'm going to be patriotic here. South Africa and England, because they're on the one side, right? And India and New Zealand. Simple. And that's my pick. So yours, Aditya.
Yeah, I'd go with the same combination.
Really? I only picked South Africa because my heart is telling me I must pick South Africa. I'm not going to let you answer your address and where you live and stuff because you might get. Watch this. Watch the Springboks or watch the Proteas tomorrow as the games will overlap. You know what, guys? Yeah, I can't actually mention that on the stream. Proteas all the way. Have to cover the game. No, I'm going to watch both. And Man United's playing at 4 o'clock. Ooh, yeti. And it's only a preseason game. We know who Aditya's going to pick. I'll go with... Because cricket's a long... Listen how smart this is, Aditya. I hope it's smart. Because cricket's a longer game and you don't actually have to watch it in real time, I'll probably stream the Proteas and watch the box live. Okay, guys, I think that's all that we have for you. I don't think we normally do such a long daily show. I didn't expect so many questions. So thanks a lot for all the questions. Thanks a lot for engaging. We didn't answer the main question, and that was from Instagram and the whole reason for why we did the stream. Who is the god of cricket and why is Aiden Markram the god of cricket? I don't know if I can answer that one right now. You see, the god of cricket, there's 2 ways of answering this. One is on saying that it's the god of cricket of all time, that who's the best of all time, the god of cricket, or who's the god of cricket right now. So I'm going to take it as right now. So personally, I have to say, it's very hard for me to say this, but because I would like to say someone from South Africa, but Virat Kohli for me currently is the god of cricket. Because of his dominance across all formats. ODIs, he's the 6th bowler of all time on the run scorers list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he's the 6th highest run scorer of all time. And he averages at almost 60. He's 59. It's ridiculous. I was looking at the stats earlier on, and I just had a shock of my life when I looked at his average compared to everybody, even in the top 100. Nobody averages more than Virat. The guy that got closest to him was MS Dhoni with an average of 50. So in ODI cricket, Virat Kohli is a monster. And I think he's just going to get better and better. He's probably going to catch and become in the top 5. I don't know if he's going to catch Shashin and Duke at the top. I don't think there's enough time for that, but he'll definitely catch. He could possibly catch Ponting, I think, or maybe even Jai Sharia and Jai Wardena. He'll definitely catch Jai Wardena, I feel. So in T20 cricket, he's the number 1 T20 international batsman of all time. He's right on top of the list. So, and he's just going to continuously get better. And he only played 90 games in that format. That's the ridiculousness of it. He scored 3,100 runs in 90 games. Guys underneath him have 102, 111. Okay, then Finch, 76, 109 for Mohammad Hafiz. Everybody's in the hundreds already, and Kohli's hasn't even gotten there. And on top of that, he's like the only batsman to average 50. I think on the whole list. So, cricket god, in my eyes, 100% Virat Kohli currently. What's your thought on that?
Right. If we talk about god of cricket, then to me, growing up, I've lived by the adage that cricket is my religion and Sachin is my god. So I can't think of anyone else.
Well, if we're talking about all time, like, yeah. Well, Sachin is definitely up there. Jacques Kallis, Sachin, Viv Richards. You have to throw them in. Bradman, based on stats.
So I've grown up with that, and he continues to be God to this day. And because it's also very difficult to change, right? Even like Virat Kohli will tell you that Sachin is God. No matter how many records he breaks. Just the other day, Shoaib Akhtar was giving an interview, saying that you need to give Sachin a bit more credit because when he was playing ODI cricket, opening the batting for India, the ball started reverse swinging after 10 overs. And when that happened, he was facing Wasim Akram, Bakar Yunus, and Shoaib Akhtar in their prime.
Yeah, the bowlers he faced were just incredible. Yeah. So, yeah, there's your answer, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click that notification bell for all future videos. Let us know if you want to do more of these shows every Friday. Let us know in the comment section after this game is done. And we will then see if we're going to continue the series. We just thought that it would be excellent to give you these type of things. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the magazine. We have a free magazine, a digital magazine, easy on all your devices, iPads, phone, laptop, doesn't matter what digital device you have, you can read this magazine. Link is on the screen and in the description. It's free for all the back issues as well. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and enjoy your weekend. Have a great weekend. Enjoy all the sport that is happening this weekend, and we'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care, everybody.